Good morning or afternoon. My name's Mark and I'm from Scribo, Literatu Scribo. So this morning or this afternoon, I want to take you through how Scribo can help you right from the get-go. Like first time you've ever seen it, how we can get a result with you, how we can understand where your students are in their writing, and how we can start to move forwards with getting them better at writing. And our sole purpose is to build better writing skills. So these three things are the core of what we do. We want to lift engagement with students. We want to reduce the time you spend, and we want to give everyone better remediation and insights into how to get better. It's pretty simple, and writing is a complex thing. So what we have to do is keep simple, stay simple, and meet the complex issues. So today in this video, I'm going to do four things. We're going to be a brand new teacher logging into Scribo, possibly get our Google Classrooms going, and then we're going to get students engaged. We're going to create something for them to write. Now, nothing big or complex or curriculum focused. We really want to see where students are in their writing skills, and the best way to do that is to give them a blank sheet of paper. Really, it's a blank screen that says write something. Now, they could write 200, 300, whatever number of words you think we can deal with to keep, like get some momentum. Don't make it overly complex, a couple of hundred words on what they did during the holidays or some topical thing that's happening. Keep it as neutral as possible. That's what creating a cold write's all about. That's going to give you, 10 minutes or 20 minutes with your kids, getting a feel for where they're at. And we'll stop that process and we'll have a look at the data. But you can do that anytime. To keep the momentum going, we can then flick a switch and have them looking at how to fix their writing. And then, of course, we can introduce this concept of how to do more writing, because more writing is the only way to get better at writing. So it's about building momentum. It's about simplicity. And as you travel through writing, writing is a big dimension. It's like the fourth dimension. You got rubrics and you got scoring and you've got feedback and you've got all these other things that are going on in writing. But I think to get better at it, you've got to look at that clean simplicity all the time. You have to be able to stage something that's going to get them going, support them in that process, and look for opportunities to help them. And if we can help you do that, we're doing our job. So off we go. Enough talking from me. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is get you logged in. Now, luckily for you, we've been busy in the background and we've got your teacher logins ready to load, or already loaded, I should say. So what that means is you're a Google aware school or a Microsoft school. We know who you are. All you have to do is put your Google email in here and hit login with Google. Don't even bother with your password, because single sign-on means will take you straight through to where you need to be. And where you need to be is inside Literatu. So where we take you first as a teacher is into a space where we're trying to build out what you need to get going. Now, the first thing that sort of happens um, in this environment is you don't really have any classes. If you're a brand new teacher, you may not have classes set up. Now, I understand a lot of you use Google Classroom, which is a great thing. What you have available to you is a tool button. So on this tool button, there's an overall video about, Scribo, what we do. There's there's really a whole series of steps in here that will take you through most of the functionality I'm going to take you through in this video. But the thing to get you going is Google Classroom Sync. Now, I can't log in as you and sync your classrooms, but inside um, this step here is a video on how to do this, and it's really, really simple. So if you want to get going quickly in Scribo, set up your classroom in Google Classroom and then synchronize it with Scribo. And once you've done that, in about 2 minutes flat, you'll have all of your students able to log in just as you did, and you'll have along the top here your classes. So if you've got 3 classes in Google Classroom, you'll have 3 classes along the top here. I have 1 class, and inside that class is where everything happens. So it's really that simple. You can always check your classes and your students in the menu button there. It'll take you into your class and you can see, after you've done it, all of the students that you've got in this class. Now you can add new ones, invite them. This is really straightforward. It's designed to be quick and simple, so you have full management over the students. When they're using their Google sign-in, they do not need a new password. They use their Google password. So we don't have this problem of, I've lost my password, I can't get in. All they need to do is to click on Scribo and they will go straight in. Now, in this video, what I'm going to be doing is swapping between student and teacher. Now, a student is going to have a purple edge around the side, and a teacher is going to have a nice yellow edge around the side. I'll always make a point of the two transitions as I'm going through. So let's just assume that you have your Google Classroom in and your classes are along the top here. All you have to do is select the class you want to deal with, one at a time. Let's try and keep it simple. So the first thing I want to do is this concept of a cold write. Now, cold write is really just giving students something to write about that's got some targets and some support, but we don't give them all of the grammar feedback, all of that sort of you can fix it by doing this feedback. We just want to see where their skills are in a very simple way, because that's the most important thing, is to set a baseline in where you start. And it also gives you good visibility over what your your next job is. I mean, sometimes teachers are quite surprised their students are brilliant writers. Others sort of think, oh my goodness, I've got a job to do here. So let's get that going. Now, what we do is we have an activity. An activity is something students write about. And you can write about any subject, doesn't have to be English, it could be absolutely anything. And there's some options in here. Now, I won't clutter this sort of demonstration. Let's go the simplest way and use AI to create your first writing experience. Now, you can write about anything. My advice in cold writing is to try and find a topic that everyone has an opinion on. And I know, teenagers and sort of high school students, they've got a lot of opinions about all sorts of things. So pick something you think is going to light them up and get them really, fired up to do their best. Here's always a good one: the social impact of social media. And you just type it in, and then you tell us you'd like it to be informative. So you can make it any genre that you like, but informative is always a good way to see what their formal writing style is. And you say, look, let's just write 250 words here. We're not going to try and write a Harry Potter series, and we're going to keep it to say 3 paragraphs or 4 paragraphs. You want to see if there's paragraphing skills in the students, and down here are your options. Now, cold write is blank screen, start writing. It's no support. Writing Check gives them full functionality. Scribblet is a avatar-based younger writers interface, really nice. And Challenge means that when they do get into feedback, we show them what errors they've made. We don't tell them what type of errors they are. So they know they've made a mistake. They have to think and work out how to fix it. So there's all these modalities here which you can play with. I'm going to go cold write, and we just generate the writing prompt. So what AI will give you, is 3 prompts. Now, you can have this on the screen in the classroom and say, which one do you want to work on? Which one do you resonate the most with? Positive and negative aspects. Let's see what the skills are in describing how they think and feel. We've picked out some keywords that we'd like them to use. We make them visible to them. We say, come on, let's get these words and these constructs into your narrative, into your text. All you have to do next is use this prompt. Now, you can create a model answer, but we'll come back to that later in a later series. The scaffold, I think, is the important one. My boys went to a great school, but all they ever got was a blank piece of paper and told to write, and it never really worked out. So scaffolds are important, and they can really accompany the writers. So have a go at this and see what it does, because the scaffold is a great thing for them to use. And hit create. Now, what this is doing is it's creating an entire writing experience for your students. It's setting up the scaffold, it's setting up all the rules, and here we have a chance to review it before we give it to the kids. Okay, so here's the topic. We've got a nice little scaffold here that they can follow if they want to. There's nothing compulsory about this. This is helping them. This isn't punishing them or saying, you didn't do this. This is really a way of guiding them, let's get going. Let's have a look at this. Let's follow the script. Now, on the left-hand side here are your options. So in a cold write, I know a lot of students can duck off into ChatGPT and do something and cut and paste, come back, you can turn off the cut and paste. They can't paste stuff into this. This is a keyboard, this is a writing test. So keep it that way. You don't have to worry about marking. They won't see the marking, but you will. So you can leave that on. We'll come back to some of these other options later on. The subject and the year is good to know because we can temper the feedback to match the students. If you want students to talk to it, that's okay. Some students don't type very well. They like to talk. Uh, let them talk. So that's your choice, okay? But they need to be using Google Chrome to use that. And basically, down here are the rest of the options. I won't go through all of them, but your scaffold's built. It's on the right-hand side here. You're ready to go, and you hit save. Now that has got the whole thing in motion, and you can see up here, I've got two of them. It's a bit confusing, but that's the one I just created now because nobody has started it yet. All right, now I'm a teacher and I'm in waiting. Now I'm in a classroom where the students are logging in, and what they're getting is pretty much the same as you, but in their world, right? So what we have is you can see this is the one I've already started. Here's the one, the brand new one that's just come at me. So this is what I have to do. Our students hit open. Not complex at all. And here we are. Click to start writing. So most of the things here are disabled, all right? Now I'll just take you through what they see. We gave them a scaffold. So over here we go. Here's my scaffold. So I can start writing. So let's start writing. Now I happen to be an excellent typist, as you can see, and I've written my 290 words. I've hit the targets. I've done my job as a student. I've paragraphed. I'm obviously a very good writer, as you can tell. You may not get to see writing at this pace or level, but I hope you do. I really do. But if you don't, that's okay. What we've got on the right hand side here, this is a student. Remember the purple. Um, when they're done, they don't get to write check. They don't get to check. They do get to tick off the scaffold. They do say, yeah, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. They follow the sort of script that we've got for them. In here, what they can do is really hand it in. So the object is you let them write for maybe 20 minutes or however long they need, simply hand in. Handing in means that you get to see what's going on. It's off their agenda. It's sort of taken away from them for just a little bit while you have a look, and then we can bring it back into play. Now, the other thing that we've got in here is handwriting recognition. So if you've got students that want to handwrite, or if you're in the primaries where they do handwriting, this will load. If you take a picture of their handwriting off their phone in a JPEG format, you can load it up into Scribo and it will recognize the handwriting. That's another video, but it's a really nice way of blending your modalities. Writing is part of the curriculum. Handwriting is still important. We're not leaving that behind. We're picking it up and bringing it with us. So that's a really cool way of doing it. So I'm not going to harp too much longer here. Your students will write something. They won't have too much access to feedback in that process. But when they're done, they'll hand it in and they'll say, phew, thank goodness that's done because I hate writing. Okay. What we can have in the background here is a model answer. And, I've been sprung because my model answer is the same as my beautiful essay on the left. So you can sort of say, hey, listen, I see what you're going there, but here's what a good one might look like. So you're already sort of setting a standard where we're saying, we've got to get you to here. You're over here. Don't panic. We're all working together on this. And let's go back to Teacherland. So in Teacherland, you're going to see here that one student is in progress. So have a click on that. All you have to do is just simply click on it, and your roster of students down the right-hand side here, working from the right across, these are all your students. You'll have maybe 30 or 40 of them. And you'll see as it comes through, you'll see the score. I told you I was good. 85 is my score. I've got some hard to read sentences and things to work on, but we'll come back to what all the feedback means in a minute. But what we've managed to do for you is give you an ability to see down the class, all of your students, what word levels they got to, and the grade that Scribo has given it. Now, there is a video on Scribo scoring, but let's just quickly say that we've done a lot of scoring in our lifetime, and this is an AI version of you're in year 8, you've got asked to write an informative essay on social media and to use some keywords. We've sort of said, How have you gone about that? And we've looked at all sorts of things, as you can see here. We've looked at grammar, spelling, vocabulary. Did you hit the topic? How was your cohesion? What sort of sentences were you writing? We've looked at a lot of different elements and we've summarized it up to be 85. And if you want to get better, you click on 85 and it'll tell you how to do that. So we do have some grammar issues. Believe it or not, I have some grammar issues. And obviously, you can see what they are. Now, at the moment, the students have not seen the results of their work. You're just getting a picture of where each student is. You can jump between students very easily just by clicking their initial or their name. And so it goes. You're in the game. Like you haven't read all this stuff, but you have got a spread of where the marks are, where the talents are, and that's the most important thing. So you can have a look through all of your students doing that. But if we want to have a quick look at the data, we come out of here and you've got a thing called a dashboard as a teacher. So in a dashboard situation, what we do is we sort of take you to the next level of, okay, it's a Scribo score. The cohort we're talking about is Year 8, 2023 English. We refresh our options and you can see for all the activities, I've done 2 activities now. Cohesion's getting better, keywords are getting better, hard to read's going down. That's me, that was my fault. But here it is. These are the most improved skills and these are the ones needing the most attention. So we track things across time and you can see Peter's now written 2 essays. He's getting better. His first score was 75, his second one was 85. You can drill into students, into subjects, into anything you like. There's another video on this. But the key point here is we've set a benchmark. We know that across the class, these are 3 things we need to fix. Now, you cannot fix writing in a day. You can look into it and say, okay, this is where I can start working with them. This is the common attributes across the cohort. Now, these are gold because you've just figured all this out in a matter of minutes. Okay, we've set a task, we've got kids writing, and in 20 minutes you have all the data and an impression of where your students are at. And now we can do the second piece. You've done the engagement piece, you've gotten your baseline. The second piece is letting them become part of the solution moving forwards. How do we do that? So behind every good activity that you do, there is a thing called the 3 dots. And the 3 dots is where you control what happens next. You control the options, the scoring, everything about it. But the one I want to turn on for you is writing check. Okay? Let me just make sure I got the right activity there. Because I've got 2 of the same thing, right? I'm pretty sure we should be in the 18th. So what we want to do basically, without too much fuss, is move it from cold write to writing check. When you do that, okay, when you have done that, the students are in the game in a different way. Now they refresh their writing and you'll see down here that they're completed. One's open, one's completed. Let's have a look at the one with writing check on. Writing check turned on means we can let them start to improve their writing. They get to see their score. They get to see the feedback that we've given them. We give them suggestions on how to make it a huge impact. A tremendous impact is much better than that. We can let them move through their text and see if they can make it better. So this is what Scribo, this is the supporting of writing piece. I don't want to go through all of the options that we've got here, but we can turn on for the students feedback. And the feedback is really the most important thing for them because they understand why they got the score they got by clicking on it, and then they go about trying to make it better. And if they don't understand how to make it better, that's when they talk to you. And that's a great conversation to have, how you can help them in a context without having to sort of go home, work it out all the time over the weekend with red pens and everything else and come back and everyone's exhausted by then. So this moves very quickly for students. They love the feedback. They love drilling into it, asking questions, and they see how they can improve themselves. It's this engagement first and this supporting writing second, and you get to see the data third. So I don't want to take you through too much more time spent on that. I think if you can create an activity, if you can create a class, you can create an activity. If you can create an activity, you can get them writing. And once they're writing, you can get them working with their work in feedback mode. It's a beautiful way to start the Scribo journey, and it doesn't take any more time than what I've shown you. Probably way less time. I talk way too much, but that's what we can give to your students. Now, in following videos, we can turn on ChatGPT. We can have a lot more fun, a lot more depth with what you can do as a teacher and what you can expose to your students. Okay, so obviously, I'll just give you a quick overview, a quick one thing AI will do for you. Instead of reading it, you can ask AI to suggest 3 ways to improve it. And we'll create really nice teacher level feedback for a year 8 student. And you can edit student feedback as a general comment, and we're done. The student now has got your feedback in their text. So much more fun and things you can do, but you only ever do these things if they're going to add value to you in your classroom. Okay, so getting students writing is a big job. Helping you do that is our number one job. All of the other sort of frills that come along in writing, like grading and scoring and feedback and everything else, it's all in here. But crack the egg one little bit at a time. Don't go launching in. You're welcome to, and we'd love you to, but move through it in a way where you're comfortable with the way it's rolling in your class. Your students are comfortable with the kind of feedback they're getting, and we can all move forwards past that point. So obviously, any questions you ever have, you hit learning@literatu.com. Send us an email, mark@literatu.com. We'll be happy to join you on the journey. If anyone needs some sort of like more webinars, we're even happier to do that sort of work as well. So enjoy. Don't get psyched out by software. Make sure that you control it. And I'm sure you will, and have a great day or evening ahead.